Hear us? All right. I appreciate everybody taking the time today. We welcome in a new assistant coach for Duke basketball, Nolan Smith. We'll get started. Nolan, why don't you make a quick opening statement, and then we'll go to questions.
Yep, absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us. I wish we were in person to see all of you sitting in front of me, but obviously circumstances still not allowing that. But today is an amazing day. I've been overwhelmed with all the texts and outreach that I've received today with this promotion. But there's one thing I'll say about today. To love what you do is one thing, but to work at a place that you love and with people that you love, it doesn't get much better than that. And to be the assistant coach here for Duke with Coach K, who has trusted me since 2007 when he came into my living room and offered me to come to Duke. To this day, that trust and that bond is still there. So just honored to be a part of this program and make it continue to be great and continue to hunt championships.
All right, appreciate that, Nolan. We'll open up the questions. We'll start. Mark Armstrong had his hand up first, so let's go to Mark Armstrong.
Nolan, even more than career aspirations, you seem like a guy who's had a mission in life. Do you have a master plan of how your life is unfolding, or are you kind of, playing as you go?
My master plan is to continue to bless others. That's my master plan, and to now step into this coaching role. That's it. That's the mission, is just to continue to touch these players and make sure they're achieving their goals and reaching the highest levels of the game of basketball that they can reach. That's the plan. So now, just being in this position, I get to do that at a full level on the court, coaching, teaching, but just continuing to mold these young men into the best men that they can be.
And just as a quick follow-up, does this in any way impact the way you approach your work in the community too? I would imagine. I mean, your profile is even a tiny bit more heightened, maybe micro heightened. Everybody knows who you are anyway, but does that change in any way?
Absolutely not. One thing, when Coach and I have continued to talk, but continue to talk about the work that I do outside of Duke and in the Durham community, he always says, "Be you, son," and continue to do that. So that work will definitely not stop, and continue to be a community leader for Durham.
JB Ricks, go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, Nolan? Congratulations on the promotion today. We've spoken before about your ultimate goals when it comes to coaching down the road. What does this day specifically mean to you now that you have that full assistant title under your name? And the second part of my question is, if it came down to it, would you have moved on to another program to get that opportunity so you could continue with that process towards ultimately becoming a head coach?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I'm an ultimate believer in trusting the process. And obviously, there were other opportunities knocking, but the big picture for me always wanted to be here, learning under Coach K, working with Coach John Shire, working with Coach Chris Carrawell. I'm with the best. I'm with the best people, the best in the business, and this was the ultimate goal. So to be here and learn with this group, it doesn't get much better than that. So I'm just excited for this opportunity to learn how to scout, to be on the court and going through scouts and getting our guys prepared for games. Just the whole opportunity to do it right here. It's the best.
Looking forward to it, man. Congratulations.
So, thank you.
Brendan Marks, go ahead.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Nolan. Congratulations again. Well deserved. You mentioned a couple of those things that are now going to be added to your plate in terms of responsibilities. What are some of the things you're most looking forward to in the new role? Are there things that maybe you haven't done before that now you get an opportunity to? Like, what are you most excited about?
I think I'm most excited about being on the court with the players. It's been a long journey since I've been back of behind the scenes work and not being able to be on the court. But now I get to be out there actually teaching them. And I was reading Coach's quote about me before I sat down, and he mentioned that I can still play. So I can actually show them a thing or two now still too. And I'm thankful for that. So just to be on the court with these players and, go teaching them the game of basketball, that's what it's all about.
CL Brown.
Congratulations, Nolan. I was curious how much in the past, I know, with the NCAA rules, it has allowed you here and there when maybe Coach K was off the road recruiting, you got to go out and that kind of stuff. How much did that kind of whet your appetite, and even help prepare you for now?
Yeah. Those opportunities, I didn't take those for granted when I was able to get out on the road and recruit and, go to the Nike EYBL tournaments. Those opportunities were definitely needed, so now that I'm going to be full time and be able to get out on the road, first thing I'm going to have to do is step up my shoe game. Look, I'm telling you, that's a big thing. These recruits, they want to see your shoe game, so I have to make sure that's fresh and make sure my gear is fresh when we get on the road. And I'm just excited to be in those gyms as a full-time coach and, watch the high school players play and, look for the right fit for Duke basketball.
Jason Evans.
Nolan, you've been an active voice in players' rights, lending your voice to their cause. We just saw the NCAA make a big change in allowing players to transfer one time without sitting out a year. There's lots of talk about players making money off their name, image, and likeness. Now that you're in a higher profile position, can you talk about what changes you think need to be made to college basketball to make it more equitable for the players?
Yeah, absolutely. My stance is definitely well known as far as, how I feel players in college basketball should be treated and what they should get. And I will definitely not shy away from being vocal on that. But, I will say in short, my job will always be to look out for our players, to love our players and make sure that they are getting the most that they can get. I mean, they give so much to this university and they give so much to the sport and to the brand of NCAA and college basketball. They deserve the best. Men's and women's side deserve the best. So as much as I can continue to be vocal on that, I will.
Evan Coleman.
Hey, Nolan, congrats on the promotion. I'm just wondering, was there a moment during your playing career at Duke that you thought, maybe one day I could be coaching on the sidelines? And if not, sort of when did that moment come for you? When did that realization come?
Yeah, for me, my basketball plan always had coaching in the hindsight. For me, it came sooner than I thought it would. I thought I was going to play a lot longer, but due to injuries, I found myself back here. But my dad coached for the Washington Bullets when he passed away. So he went from a player to coach. So that was always my vision, that when I stopped playing, I would join the coaching ranks. So here I am. It's all kind of worked out. But, when you're sitting on the bench and you're playing for Coach K and you're with great coaches like Chris Collins and Coach Wojo, Coach Johnny Dawkins, you see all these great coaches and you build relationships with them. As a point guard, especially, you're watching them, you're learning. And it kind of was always a big thing. Like, I could see myself one day really coaching and maybe one day coaching back here.
Hey, Nolan, I'm getting some weird noises. Give us a scouting report on Coach Nolan Smith. What are your strengths? What do you think you need to improve on?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd probably say my strengths are, I'm fearless. I'm fearless because I'm not going to hold back what a player needs to hear in order to make them be great. And I think that's going to be a strength of mine. These players need to hear the truth. And sometimes a player might not like the truth, but if you can tell them that and they know that it's coming from a great place and it's coming from your heart, they'll ultimately listen. They might walk at a gym like, I don't like what he said to me and take it the wrong way. But when they go home at night and get back to their dorm room, they'll know that Nolan Smith meant it from the bottom of his heart. And I think that's the strength of mine. Weakness, I wouldn't say I have a weakness yet because I'm not sure, but I know as a coach when it comes to scouting, recruiting, I'm new. I'm new in this game. It's my first day on the job, but I know I know my work ethic, my love for this game, my passion for this game has been there since a very young age. It's going to go up. I'm going to continue to learn and watch the game of basketball and hone my skills. And I have the blessing and opportunity to do it under Coach K. It doesn't get much better than that.
Thanks.
David Thompson, go ahead.
Hey, Nolan, congratulations. This promotion obviously comes after the departure of Nate James. Can you talk about what you learned from him, at his time at Duke? And have you guys talked a lot about, this promotion and, did he kind of pull for you for this?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Nate's one of the best in the business. I mean, he was a part of our 2010 National Championship team. He was one of the coaches that was always in my ear. I'll never forget our pregame hugs and the things that he would say to me right before I took the court. You know, he's just one of those guys that you know that he genuinely cares about you and wants you to be great, wants you to succeed, which is why he was a part of 3 national championships, 1 as a player and 2 as a coach. He's a winner on and off the court, and I'm saying, you know, just obviously proud of him as he becomes a head coach. And when he left, he's like, look, you're ready. You're ready to become assistant coach. So when coach calls you in the office and lets you know that it's happening, go get it. That was our conversation, and it was brief, it was quick, but honestly couldn't be more happy for Coach James as he goes down to Austin Peay to run that program.
Chris Lee.
Hey, Nolan, congratulations to you again. Besides the shoe shopping, how do you celebrate this with you and your family and take a moment to really bask in what you've achieved so far?
I think in order to celebrate, I probably will just pick my kids up today from daycare, grab some Chick-fil-A for my daughter Cameron, and we just got a nice playground outside, so we'll go out back and play. My wife and I will just enjoy it with our family. It doesn't get much better than that.
Don't get too wild now.
Look, the swing said we have a nice slide.
Good stuff.
Tom Shanahan, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Nolan, it's one thing to know a lot about basketball, but it's a different thing to be able to teach it and then realize kids, you've got what it takes for kids to apply what you're teaching. When do you think you reached that point? Any markers on that?
Yes, that's a great question. And I think, you know, to be able to teach is to be able to break it down so that they understand. And I think, you know, every player is going to learn differently. Some players learn with video and some players learn by being able to show them. And I think if you can do both, that's great. But being able to, you know, basically help them understand the game the best way that they can get it. You know, and all of our players are different. But we have great managers, great staff around here that will help us, you know, break it down for each guy.
Brian Horace.
Hey, Nolan, again, congratulations. So how did mom and sis take the news?
They were very, very, very excited. They're very excited. They obviously have been on this journey with me since I came into this world. We're part of my playing career. I'm sure you all saw them here in Cameron during games, but you know, they're part of my support team. They always have been, always will be. So very proud of me today.
Thank you.
Go back to Mark Armstrong.
Nolan, it's not very often, oftentimes like a third assistant just want to keep their head down, keep quiet and try and not mess up, right? You're such a prominent figure. Do John and Chris need to remind you, you know, your pecking order on this whole thing?
That's a great question, Mark. I'm sure at some point they will. Like, hey, young buck, look, especially when they give me the first scout of the season, which is the first game, that will be kind of like, here, you get that scout. I got the Carolina scout. I got the they'll have their ways of where they put me in my place, but they're excited. They've been super great today and talking to me, and when we've had many conversations, like to have John as a brother for such a long time, from our playing days, and see Will again. I mean, it's the brotherhood. So to be able to work with those two guys, man, it's absolutely amazing.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go to Evan Colin and then finish with Brendan Marks.
Obviously, there's a lot to learn under Coach K, but I'm just wondering, what's the biggest quality of his that you're hoping to carry over into your time as a coach?
Oh, that's a great question. And there are so many things that I've learned from him. I'd probably say the biggest thing that I'm looking to carry over to when I become a head coach is culture. The way he's created a culture and sustained a culture for so long is very hard. And the one thing that he's done that I've admired, he's been able to adapt his culture for the generation. I mean, if you think about it, coach has been coaching for so long, different decades. He's changed as the decades have gone along. And I think for Coach, who's 74 years old, to be able to do that is extremely impressive. So however long I coach, I'm going to take that with me, is to be adaptable and be able to create and change your culture. Keep the same principles of your culture, but be able to change and adapt for your players.
All right, Brendan, go ahead.
Yeah, Nolan, I wanted to sort of follow up on that with Coach K. As much as you can tell us, what was the process of this? I mean, I think you were sort of the natural choice to slide up, but what were those conversations like with him? You know, what did he tell you? What did you say to him in terms of communicating your desire for it? And what was that process like?
Yeah, it was a very quick process. Obviously, I've been here since 2016. I've been the special assistant. I've been the director of basketball operations, and our conversations grew each summer. You know, you all know Memphis came in with the offer last summer, and Coach pulled me in his office right away. He said, "Look, someone's going to get a head coaching job, and you'll get moved up." He said, "Stay here, trust me." It's funny. He's always said, "Trust me," and I always have. I've never wavered my trust from Coach. And he said, "Look, you're on the right plan. You're on the right path." And it worked out. So it was a very brief conversation. And he said, "Look, you're ready. Come in, be yourself with the guys, keep leading, keep being a role model. Let's go." That was the conversation. Very brief.
Thank you.
Anything else for Nolan? All right, Nolan, appreciate your time. Congrats again on the promotion. And we will send out quotes and video here later this afternoon. So again, appreciate everybody hopping on. And again, Nolan, thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank y'all.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Nolan. Congrats again.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all.
Great job, Nolan.
Thank you.